Let's talk about Falkirk FC, or as the locals call them, the Bairns. Now, Bairns means the children, but don't let that fool you, these Bairns bite. Founded back in 1876, while half the world was still arguing about horses versus steam engines, Falkirk were already booting a ball around and calling themselves a football club. Their first recorded match, a 5-0 loss. Brilliant start, but hey, at least they turned up. Fast forward, and Falkirk weren't just making up the numbers. By 1909, they were the first Scottish club to smash through the 100-goal barrier in a single season. Imagine that. Before some clubs even figured out how to lace their boots, Falkirk were rattling them in for fun. Then came 1913 Scottish Cup final. The Bairns beat Wraith Rovers 2-0 at Celtic Park and lifted their first big trophy. Cue the entire town probably trying to squeeze into the pubs at once. But Falkirk weren't just about glory. They were about shock value too. In 1922, they broke the world transfer record, signing Sid Pudafoot from West Ham for $5,000. $5,000 back then was like throwing down $250,000 today. Imagine explaining to your granny in the 1920s that her knitting money had just bought a striker. And then there's Brockville. They're home for over a century. Capacity 35,000 at its peak. But if you ask any Falkirk fan, they'll tell you the pies alone were worth the trip. Sadly, the ground couldn't pass SPL standards, which basically meant Falkirk could win the league but not get promoted. Imagine telling your boss you worked overtime all week and they said, "Sorry mate, the chair you sat on isn't modern enough. No pay rise for you." But the Bairns never die easy. In 2004, they opened the Falkirk Stadium, a proper modern ground, and finally went up. They even made it to Europe in 2009, playing FC Vaduz from Liechtenstein. Because nothing says glamour like flying out to face a team whose fans probably outnumber the goats in the village. Of course, it hasn't all been sunshine. Relegations, financial dramas, and even that banter era in League One, where they couldn't buy a result if they'd nicked Sid Pudafoot's checkbook. But here's the thing about Falkirk, they never stay down for long. They've won the second tier 8 times, that's a record. No one in Scotland yo-yos quite like the Bairns. They've turned promotion into an art form. And now, after an unbeaten League One season and a storming championship title in 2025, they're back in the Premiership for the first time in 15 years. From the foundries and shipyards to the bright lights of the top flight, Falkirk aren't just survivors. They're proof that even the Bairns grow up and scrap with the big boys. So next time someone asks about Falkirk, tell them this. They're not just a club. They're a story of Ironworks grit, wild transfers, broken records, and fans who'll back them through every twist. The Bairns, more like the legends,